Hey, folks, welcome back to Fireside 42. This is your host, Rob Walden, and today I'm talking to some team members. I said I was going to do it, and we're doing it. So, first, Clint.
Yeah, Clint.
Tell
I
us
work over in door line and assembly.
How long you been there?
About 6 years now.
How do you like it?
I like my job. I like the other team members that I work with. I think that most of us bond pretty well.
That's good. That's good. And I'm also sitting with, I don't know, Dave, Goat. What do you...
It depends on where you are. Dave Gleason, Goat Beard. I've been there 15 years, and I work in finish.
You've been there a long time. You've been there since the beginning then.
I was there before the Passat had a name. Yeah, so I've been here since 2010.
How do you like it?
I like what I'm doing now. Bag and finish repair. It's the auto industry. It's a little rough, but I've never had any problems with it.
We haven't done this before, so we're kind of breaking new ground here, at least for my little podcast. But Clint, let's start with you. Mm-hmm. Why do you even union, bro?
Well, when I started, the election and the union had just failed. Mm-hmm. I did not really see the need for the union because I was new. But as I've been at Volkswagen longer, I've seen that a lot of things the company says they don't follow up on. I see a lot of the pitches being overtaxed, and I see people getting hurt because they're not doing proper maintenance on tools. And I feel like things would be better with representatives ensuring that the company does the things that they say they're going to do.
I mean, that's not unreasonable. Goat, what about you? You've been doing union stuff a long time.
Yeah, I grew up in the union. Fourth generation auto worker. Everybody worked at GM, so great grandmother, grandmother, mom, they all worked union jobs. That's the way I grew up in New York. When I come here, what they told us and what we originally started at, when the Germans had full control of the plant, once the American management took over, things started to change. Mm-hmm. And they weren't changing for the better. So I knew the only way to change it with the mindset was to unionize.
You've worked union shops, haven't you? Is that right?
I've worked in union. I've worked a summer in a GM plant. So yes, I've worked in a union shop, but I grew up union.
So you didn't have to be sold.
No, I didn't have to be sold. I saw the benefits, single mother in the 70s, raising 3 kids alone. Mm-hmm. When the economy crashed in the early 70s, she was out of a job for a year and a half. She got her job back. No seniority loss. Yeah, it was rough times. I was 4 or 5 years old. Don't really remember it much, just what she told us. But if it wouldn't have been for a union, if it would have been like it was 3 or 4 years ago, when we had a, Dieselgate or whatever happened here, economic downturn, she would have been out of a job. Just straight up gone by, we might rehire you, but you're going to restart at the bottom. So I've seen all the good stuff it can do.
Job security. That's the hot topic right now.
Job security, benefits, retirement, because she still had a pension, healthcare, everything. Mm-hmm. We had it all.
Okay. So what do you guys think about this bargaining so far? Like, what is your feelings on it?
Well, I'm disappointed in how the company is moving forward with this. I really had hoped that they would actually honestly sit down with the bargaining committee and try to work this out. But I see that the company's dragging their feet and making things a lot harder than I think need to be.
Dave?
It doesn't surprise me. Being a former team leader here, knowing a lot of people up and being able to see the business side of it, even if they were going to agree to everything they ask, if there's no pressure, why should I agree to it? Until you get to a point. So I don't lay it on our bargaining team. They're doing what we elected them to do.
So when you say pressure, you mean pressure from us, the team members, from the floor?
From the floor, yes. Right. It's maybe not enough knowledge out there for everybody. I'm a different story. I've been organizing the plant since 2012. So I've got a lot of knowledge, so it doesn't surprise me that the company's dragging it out like they are. Because if there's no pressure, just thinking of it straightly from a business perspective, if there was no pressure on me, I'm not going to agree to it, even if it is something that I'm going to end up doing. So I don't fault our bargaining team at all.
It bothers me. I'm just curious if it bothers you guys. Like, I hate Christina's videos. I hate them because they're inherently dishonest, like from start to finish.
Yeah, I quit watching them.
Do you guys see it that way? I mean, do you see her just trying to sell the company's point of view, or do you see them trying to manipulate us unfairly?
It's straight manipulation. It's political theater. That's pretty much what it is they're purposely not giving you details. They're just throwing general information out there, hoping that the rest of the membership on the floor will put pressure on the bargaining team to get it done, even though there's no details involved in it.
But really, if you look at the company's past, there's nothing to sign.
Right. There's no.
I mean,
there's
she
no
doesn't
language
attach
there.
anything to anything.
Right.
So, for instance, back at the all-team meeting when she said, "Oh yeah, we've agreed to $4,000 ratification bonus," and then I mean, there was nothing there.
Right.
You know?
Well,
And
in the same thing with that all-team meeting, it was rough. It was hard to keep my mouth shut. I ain't gonna lie.
You and me both.
But when she got up there and said, "We've given a competitive offer," the only thing I could think about was a commercial, probably everybody's seen on TV, where the guy's sitting down and HR is telling him, "We've got a competitive offer for you." And he's like, "Show me the numbers." He's like, "Well, it's a competitive number." No, show me the numbers.
Right.
You know, and that's what they're doing. They're giving just enough information out that they don't want people to think they want them to react on everything.
Right. People, generally speaking, have a short memory. We do. But if you guys recall back when we got that 11% raise, it was 11%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their justification for that was they were keeping us at competitive wages. And a lot of us told them, like, well, no, there's all this other stuff that goes along with our
safety
that you guys aren't including, when it comes to healthcare and all kinds of other compensatory benefits that you guys are just completely ignoring. Like, no, this is standard. And now that we're showing them what the standard is, they're coming back at us with, well, times are tough.
Well, in the way I look at it, when it comes to that, like 11% raise, and even at the all-team meeting, we're trying to, with standard. What standard? Because if you're trying to remain competitive, who are you trying to remain competitive with? Because if you're basing all your data off of Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes, the other Southeast, they're not union shops. We're a union shop now.
Right.
So show me Ford, show me KTP, the Kentucky Truck Plant.
That's a good point.
Show me Spring Hill and GM.
Yeah.
Show me, are we competitive with them? No, we're not. But that's where they're manipulating the narrative or the data to get people to think, it's competitive.
I guess my point is I'm really concerned about job safety, people getting hurt, pitches getting overtacked. Then you've got to hurry to finish your pitch, and you end up getting hurt. And that happens a lot on door line.
And
Keep that line moving no matter what. No matter
and
what
I
it
was
costs
here
you.
when the beams fell off of
BA4.
BA4. And what really surprised me was the company's first response was, "Don't worry, guys. No product got hurt. Didn't fall on a car." Their first response wasn't, "Don't worry, nobody got hurt."
And it's not the first time it's happened on BA4.
And I was just like, whoa. And that just really enforced the fact that,
And there's
that we
been
really need protection here at this plant.
There was one time in, I think it was 2013. Yeah, about a 1.5 foot chunk of I-beam fell out, landed right in the middle of the hood of a car. Cleaned it up, kept going. But in what you were talking about with people getting hurt, that's where the culture has changed. I'm almost positive you guys no longer get, if you got a problem, pull your hand on. Your team leader will come, because according to the company rules, unless they've changed them, your job is to pull the hand on when you got a problem. My job, if I'm your team leader, is to come up, find out what you got, and release the hand on. according to the company, once I release that andon, that's not your car anymore. That's my car. They've started a culture where on the line you guys run, somebody gets behind, you go help them out. We don't want to stop the line. And you're falling into, unfortunately, the culture has been changed. You guys are falling into the company trap.
One of the things we've been finding with the andon system on door line is you pull the andon because there's a problem. The team lead comes to fix the problem, but may not have fixed the problem completely. Now it gets all the way down to the end and past, and there's a problem with the vehicle. Then they come back and talk to the team member and say, hey, you forgot to snap in the door lock, you forgot to turn a bayonet, you forgot to do something. And you really, I mean, we do so much product, you can't remember specifically what set of car doors it was, you know.
When you're building 300 cars in a day, it's hard to
you
keep
can't
up.
remember
I
what
hear you.
door it was. And so I wouldn't blame the team lead because they've got a lot of stuff going on as well.
That's where the little bit of the culture. The only thing the bit of advice I could give in something like that, remember the sequence number.
Yeah, and that's the difficult part. It's just hard. You don't have time to sit and write down, sequence numbers on.
So do you feel then, as it is right now, that you should not pull your andon, regardless of what is supposed to happen? Are you hesitant when something happens? Do you think twice? You're like,
Absolutely not. I feel like I can pull my andon. I just worry about the problem being taken care of, and then is the supervisor gonna come back to me and say, hey, this car, didn't have a door lock snapped in there, and is that the one? Was that the silver one? Was that the right? You're trying to remember the color. You're trying to remember.
You're more worried about the ramifications of pulling the andon, which comes back to the fear, because they're not going to go, hey, I mean, I'm a former team leader, so I know this stuff. And a lot of it was, if I did it and I fixed your vehicle, I'm writing the number down. That way, in case something comes out, and a good team leader is going to be like, hey, it's not Clint's fault. I repaired the vehicle. I did it. I mean, to me, that's a good team leader. That's what I'm doing. I repaired your vehicle. I didn't repair it correctly. I'm going to take it. I've done it before. Yeah, I screwed up. I didn't do it. Most of them that I see now, they're just worried about, we got to keep the OA up.
Yeah. They don't want to stop the line.
I'm not, and the company tosses out, you're entry level management. I'm an hourly worker. I don't care if you call me entry level manager or not. My job is to lead these guys. That's my job, to help them out any way I can. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to throw them under the bus because, I'm not getting a KPI bonus. I'm getting a bonus just like everybody else as a team lead.
Right.
I'm not management. That's part of the reason why I stepped down. They started pushing more work, the supervisors' work, on the team leads. They gave me an opportunity to step down, and I walked away.
Let me ask you this. I'm curious. So based on the many conversations I've had with our bargaining team, it sounds like a lot of these issues that we're talking about will be addressed by the contract. A lot of them, if not all of them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of the, what we're dealing with team leads, I think team leads don't have sufficient support, right? They don't have representation. So once we've implemented that and we get our reps trained so that our team leads do have better support, would you feel more comfortable going back into that role as a team lead yourself, knowing that you're going to have support and backup to help you lead your guys?
That one, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, because you're still an hourly employee, which is, representative or not. I was on door line in 13, 14 when we organized and voted. I was on door line 18, 19. I left at the end of 18, went back to repair. Education. Team leaders need a lot of education on what their actual roles and responsibilities are. I think that would help out a lot in a more structured. I might think about it, but at my age and this stage of my career, 15 years in, no, I probably wouldn't take it again.
That's fair. That might have been an ambush question. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. No, I get at every yearly review, I get asked.
Yeah.
These are guys, some of the supervisors now are people I started with or were team leaders with. And they've asked me, you would make a great team leader. I'm like, I'm not doing it again. no offense, I'm not doing your job for $1.25 an hour.
What about, and this is an unfair question, just so you know, this is my second gotcha question for the day. So you guys have both been, I mean, obviously, you've been doing this for some time, and you at one point were an e-board member.
That's correct.
Okay. So do you guys have any interest in local leadership? I mean, you guys have already demonstrated that you are leaders in this movement. Is that something that you can see yourself doing? Is that?
I haven't planned on doing it. I don't see myself being a union rep. I like to stay on the line and slug it out with the rest of the guys. So.
That's a fair answer. What about you, Bill?
I don't know if I'd be interested in redoing it, but I probably wouldn't have a problem helping with the education of whoever does go into these positions. I wouldn't have any problem, helping them get their feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd probably be better off. I'd probably have an easier time, a better time doing that, just because I'm 54 years old. I've got 10, 11 years maybe here. I wouldn't have a problem actually helping educate and train up the next generation.
Mentorship, well, there's nothing wrong with that either. Let me ask you then, what about your fellows? How do you, in your spheres of influence, what is the pulse of your areas? What are your guys' feelings, do you think? What's the conversations like in your part of the shop, Clint?
I think that Doorline is ready to go ahead with the strike vote and get this contract in place, get some of these problems fixed. I don't think that a lot of people on Doorline are really buying what Christine is saying anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they know that she's just trying to tell everybody what they want to hear and cause division between the company and the union and the team members.
A lot of the guys I work with have been there 10 plus years, most of the guys. They understand what is going on. They're more than ready we got to do a strike vote. We got to do a strike vote. They've been there long enough. They understand if that's what's got to be done to get it done, they're more than ready for it. Because they know, especially back in the repair department, if sales go through the roof, quality dips, we're going to be in there 6-7 days a week, whether assembly's in there or not, because they're going to want these cars out the door. And we know historically through this company, I mean, there were times where they're working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and 10 hours on Sunday. Get 1 day off for every 13 on. And they were rotating. So they know it can get really rough in the back. So they're ready for changing the structure.
For all of the people who aren't in your spheres of influence, like, what would you say to your fellows that are wanting us to sign sooner?
You got to look at the long term. I mean, yes, I know it's drug on for pretty much a year, but you've got to look at, even if you come up here, talk to our bargaining team, or even look at Ford, GM, or Chrysler, what they got back in 23. Now, granted, they had to go out on strike, but you've got to, I mean, we're not playing a short game here. We're playing a long game. This is going to could affect the rest of our lives, the rest of our career here at Volkswagen, and it could potentially, I mean, it might be a place, if we do this correctly and everything's done, it's a place your kids could end up working. Mm-hmm. So you can't look at short-term gains if it's going to cost you in the long run. So that, come up here, talk to the bargaining team, and think about what that could get you over the length of a 4 or 5 year contract or 3-year contract, however long the contract's going to be. Mm-hmm. If you hold out for X, but you want to settle today, mm-hmm. but you hold out for X, and X is going to get you 3 to 4 times what today's number was, it's a no-brainer. But until you actually think about it, you got to think. You can't react. Mm-hmm. And that's what the company wants. They want people to react. They don't want them to think about what our bargaining team is actually fighting for. They want to throw up some, happy, competitive numbers, if they even give a number, and they want people to react. That's right. All they want. Hey, we're going to give you a $4,000 sign-in bonus. Well, that's $4,000 more than I had last week. It's $4,000 next week. After taxes, it's $2,600.
Right.
What else did you get? Nothing.
Not a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she really hasn't put anything down.
No, well, and everything that she says it's all misleading, right? I mean, we talked about that. And, you know, she talks about the opportunity for profit sharing. There is not a formula for that. And what little bit that they've put out is almost unattainable, right? So, I mean, it's profit sharing on paper, but in reality, it's nothing. And it's like, you know, and she talks about, this is my big thing, is she talks about job security. I mean, even at the all-team meeting, Goat, you know, she was talking about job security. Well, the message on the board was job security in the event of layoffs or whatever it was. Like, that's an oxymoron. That's not job security. That's something else. You know,
Yeah,
that's
and then
job loss
and
conversation.
then she put, will be bargained.
Yeah, right. It's
you know,
just
and
an
that could go
opportunity
on
to
forever.
talk more down the road. Yeah, and then, you know, she was talking about in the event of layoffs, you know, employees might qualify for 50% of their pay for 12 weeks or whatever it was. I don't know, was it up to a year? I think it was 50% pay for up to a year, right? And medical coverage for 12 weeks. So you've got people that are now getting half of their wage. They're going to have to figure out full price for medical coverage for the other 40 weeks of the year. And they're very likely going to have to give up their lease car. So now they're out transportation. They're out half of their income, and they're paying full price for, and they're patting themselves on the back at the all-team meeting about how much they care about their people that they just blew off. Like, it's incredibly important that people look past what they can get right now immediately for the more substantive stuff that we're fighting so hard for.
There's a reason that everybody ran for the bargaining team and everybody voted for the bargaining team. You voted for these guys to do this job. Let them do their job. You can come up and talk to them. That's fine. You know, us as team members that aren't on the bargaining team, we need to understand that. You know, there is some stuff you're going to come up and you might ask the bargaining team, and if it's something that they are talking about at that time, negotiating with the company, you're more than likely might not get an answer. Which you need to understand, it's not them stonewalling you. They're working on this issue right now. Let them work on it. And another thing that people need to understand is we've all got to vote. Every single member has got to vote on this contract. My advice to everybody, before you sign it, doesn't matter how great you think it is, read it.
Yeah,
Because that's what we're going to live by for the next 4 years.
absolutely. I agree. So my question to you is, and I've expressed my opinion on this, if you guys, has it been your experience that our bargaining team is anything less than fully devoted to this process? Have you seen any reason to give you guys individually doubt about how serious they are, how competent they are? Any concerns about your bargaining team?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
I mean, the way I look at it, if I would have had issues with anybody on the bargaining team, I probably asked them before I voted, and if they were somebody that was running my department, they wouldn't have got it. You know, so most of these guys I've worked with for the last 10 plus years.
Right. I think we'll end it there. Clint, Dave, Goat, appreciate you.
Hey, no problem.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll talk to you next time. This is Rob Walton, Fireside 42. We're out.